Here's Brody Brazil.
Well, this is breaking news here on a Monday. In fact, the day after the 2024 regular season ends, the San Francisco Giants are making major alterations to their front office. President of Baseball Operations Farhan Zaidi is being relieved of his duties, and former star player of the franchise Buster Posey will now take over the head of baseball operations. He'll be the president of baseball operations for the San Francisco team. Now, a lot to unpack here. That's what I'll try and do in the course of this video. I apologize it's not as structured as normal, but this news only came out within the last 30 minutes. However, I think we're all a little bit prepared for this news. Maybe we could see some of this coming with that recent report that Buster had stepped in to kind of secure the final details of the Matt Chapman 6-year contract extension. That was a bit abnormal, not just the timing of the Chapman signing, but also the fact that it would come out that somebody like Buster Posey, who is in and around the franchise already. In fact, I believe he still has part ownership of the franchise, which we'll get into in just a second, in a small way. But the point is for him to get involved in a deal like that and kind of overstep the president of baseball operations. And then Farhan Zaidi had a press conference on the last road trip of the season and said he was very certain that his job would be under evaluation and that nothing was a guarantee for him to come back. So you could kind of see a lot of these things aligning. So again, as much as today is big news, it's not necessarily the biggest surprise. You can also take it back, I think, a couple years ago when Buster Posey moved back to California. He's not from around here. And so he moved back to associate himself with the franchise. And there was kind of a formal opportunity, kind of in the advising role and the ownership role. And look, he is beloved by the fans still. And he has the legacy of a player, a great player, but now came back for what? And I'm not saying that he came back to assume somebody else's job, but he came to hang out and be around this. And I find this a lot with great players, great former players of an organization. Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau of the San Jose Sharks are two of a few down there that are perfect examples. They don't really want to take somebody's job. I don't even know if they want to take over a specific role. They just want to be around and help. And I think the same was true for Buster Posey. I don't know this for certain, that he had any type of goal or mission or thing that he was trying to achieve by coming back. He just wanted to come back to a familiar place where he played his baseball career, had a lot of success, obviously likes it enough to come back, and he wanted to help. So did he want to take over this job eventually? I hope nobody had to talk him into it, right? I hope that's the only part about this. He wanted to help, but did you really want to take on the president of baseball operations role? I mean, this is a 24/7, 365 requirement and obligation. So let's hope that this was part of his desire too. But it's a unique situation, right? That you have somebody who is a star player, who is a franchise cornerstone for the last decade, and again, a partial owner of the team in a small interest way, but still now coming back to run essentially the baseball side of it. How often do you see, I mean, even within 5 to 10 years, a situation like this? I have to say, from the cool factor, it's great to have Gerald. Did I just Gerald? Buster Posey? Yes, I did. It's great to have Buster Posey back. I like Buster. Fun fact. Well, pause the video for a second. Fun fact. Buster Posey and I get our hair cut from the same person. Shout out EJ. You know who you are. I don't know if EJ wanted to be put on blast like that. Anyway, and I need a haircut, by the way. EJ, I need to come see you. Sorry, I digress. It's a unique situation that something like this cool would happen for the Giants. I also want to make this point too, that maybe this could be a trend in baseball and in other sports, where the traditional and conventional model of the president of baseball operations and the GM, like that kind of brain trust, maybe that gets replaced by a group of former players who are in it and around it and highly respected and cerebral and intelligent. And this is so weird because you know what? I know a bunch of former Giants who are still around, and a lot of them work where I used to work at NBC Sports as Giants analysts, but they are far more valuable to the team than maybe breaking down highlights on television. People like George Contos, Rich Aurilia, Sean Estes, Randy Wynn, Ron Wotus. And Ron is already on the field more in that capacity. But what if this is, and this is kind of the point I wanted to make of the entire video, and in addition to breaking this down, what if What if a baseball team got away from that conventional model of, well, here's our president, here's our GM, and they're the ones that make all the decisions? What if you literally had the round table of those 5 or 6 gentlemen that I just mentioned there? And that is your brain trust. Think about that for a second. Would you rather have one person, or would you rather have, and don't get me wrong, baseball teams already do have a collaboration of thinkers. But imagine if they formally said, here's our round table. We don't do the GM president structure. Buster's the president. Here's his 5 vice presidents of baseball operations. No GM. I find that very intriguing. And I bet a lot of teams would follow suit on that. Going back to Buster, I definitely think that this news, as it comes out today in the next couple days, he's going to have a press conference tomorrow at 10 in the morning over at Oracle Park to announce this officially with Bob Melvin. By the way, it warms my heart to think and to know and to probably assume that Bob Melvin is going to be good for the near future because Buster's around for the near future. That's very reassuring. I think Buster and Bob are and I don't know if they knew each other a lot before Bob came in. I think I talked to Bob about that. He said, I think, if I'm correct, he knew Buster, he knew of Buster, and they'd crossed paths before, but never on any familiar level. So you'd have to think that Bob is going to be in it for the long term now, that Buster is going to be, starting off something new. But there is this. This energizes the fan base. This gets Giants fans excited. Wow, that's really cool. On the flip side, this is somebody that doesn't have experience in this role. And I'm not saying Buster won't be good at it. Don't get me wrong here. Don't twist my words. I'm just saying this is something new. How will it go for Buster Posey as a brand new president of baseball operations for the very first time? And does it potentially tarnish a bit of what he's done as a player if, for example, the first year has some rough moves, or the second that he can't sign Juan Soto? Are people going to jump on Buster the way they jumped on Farhan? Are they going to give Buster more leniency because, well, that's Buster Posey? We don't. But again, I see what I'm saying? We're getting into that area of he did something so well, play baseball, and people loved him as the advisor, but now he's going to wear the things that this franchise does. But I also want to say, on the flip side, maybe agents of baseball players and free agents, respectively, out there, maybe they look at this situation and go, wait, I could play for a Bob Melvin managed team and a Buster Posey front office at Oracle Park in San Francisco with a team that was 500 last year and is only going to get better and is going to spend and is going to really make this push. That could be a magnet for a lot of free agents out there. And I also think that's kind of the point here. Buster is taking over in an opportune time. This is a very mediocre Giants team. Look at their record this year. Were they ever 6 games below 500? Were they ever 2 games above 500? They finished 2 games under 500. It was 80 and 82. So the point being, he's not taking over a terrible project. He's taking over something that just needs maybe one more kick in the shorts. This is doable for Buster Posey. This is a thing where the structure and the foundation have already been laid out, and they've been jogging, and they've been maybe speed walking and then getting back to some slow-paced running, and now he can help them sprint. I think he can help them get there. So this is fascinating. It's interesting. It's not necessarily surprising, but I hope that sums up my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments section down below. Buster Posey's in. Farhan Zaidi is out. It's a brand new chapter of the Giants front office, and it'll be officially announced tomorrow, Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Thanks for checking out this video. Thumbs up down below. That greatly helps me and this video and this channel. Also, while you're here before this ends, go down there. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel so I can definitely get the chance to see you back here next time.